Hi, in this tutorial I'm going to teach how to make this crochet square which has a heart in it. This square patch was used in a jacket which was recently worn by a Indian film star, and I had a request on making a tutorial for it. So this tutorial is just for the square, and for the jacket I'll be making a separate tutorial. This pattern requires advanced skills. It's not a beginner level pattern, and since it uses color changes between yarns, and also the fact that you have to weave in the yarns in the back of your stitches, so please be aware before trying this out. So for this I'm using the wool Ganga Kadli. It's an Indian wool and it's a 4-ply wool. You can use any other wool if you want, but if you're going to make a jacket, then we have to use a wool which is of the similar thickness. I'm using the hook of 3.5 mm. It's a bit tighter for this wool, but to get the size for the jacket we need that. If you're making something else, then you can use a 4 mm hook as well. So we start with a slip knot, and then we can make 23 stitches of half double crochet in a chainless foundation. If you do not know how to use a chainless foundation of half double crochet, you can see certain videos online, and if you are still not comfortable with that, then you can choose to do a normal foundation with chains. Take 24 chains, the last chain would be your turning chain, and then make 23 half double crochets to get your first row. I would still suggest learning the chainless foundation because the squares that we have will have a nice edge, and it will be nicer and easier to join them when the time for joining them comes. If you are making chains, then please make the half double crochet in the back bumps. Let me show you. If you are making chains and then making your half double crochet, so if you see, this is the front of the chain and this is the back of the chain, and these are the bumps. So make your half double crochet in the back bumps. You see this back bump? The advantage would be then you would be having a nice edging at the bottom. We're going to take the method of the chainless foundation of half double crochet and make 23 half double crochets. So we have made these 23 half double crochets as the foundation row, and please do double check and count them that they are 23. It's very important to get the square right. Now we'll do a chain 1 and turn around and do a half double crochet in the first stitch itself, and then we'll follow it up with half double crochets till the end. We have 3 rows of half double crochets. We are at the last 2 stitches. And make sure that you make the last HDC in the beginning chain. Make sure you have got 23 stitches in this row. Don't count the first chain as a stitch, count from the first HDC. So we're going to do the same thing, chain 1 and turn around, and in the very first stitch half double crochet, and continue with half double crochet till the end. Make sure that when you are ending the row, you don't miss the last stitch, which is on top of the turning chain that you made. And you can verify it by counting all the stitches in your row. If you got 23, then you got it right. If you don't pay attention and you end up losing a stitch, then you will have problems as you go ahead with the pattern, and then you'll have to frog it till the point where you do the error. Now we have completed 3 rows of half double crochet, and from the 4th row is where our heart pattern starts. We'll chain 1 and turn for 4th row, and we'll make 9 half double crochets. So I've made these 9 half double crochets. So now before we start and further, I'd like to tell you that in this pattern we are going to do color changes in 2 ways. One is the traditional way. Let's say we are change our color after the next stitch. So we start our HDC, but we do not end it. Just before the last pull through, we will take the changing color and pull through the loops to finish the stitch. And then we make the next stitch. So this way the red stitch ends with a red on the top and the yellow stitch ends with the yellow on the top. But there is another way of changing colors, which is actually the way a beginner would change colors, is that you finish the whole stitch in one color, then you change the color and you start the next stitch. So if you see, what happens here is when you change the color after finishing the whole stitch, the last chain was still in the red color, and so if you will notice, this yellow stitch is on the top is yellow, but this yellow stitch on the top is red. So I could not find any proper abbreviations for using or distinguishing between these 2 stitches, so I've decided to name them like this, that when we complete the whole stitch with one color, then change the color and start another stitch, it will just be called an HDC and a color change. But if we are ending the stitch on a different color, let's say we are ending the stitch in a different color, so I'm going to call it HDC end with color change. We'll have to use both of these stitches for this pattern so that we get a good shape of the heart. Now let's get back to the pattern. On the 4th row we have finished 9 half double crochets. On the 10th we are going to do a half double crochet ending with a color change. So I take the new color, which is yellow in this case, and end the stitch. The next 2 stitches are going to be in yellow. Here I'd like to tell you that you are facing the back side of the square. The back side of the square or the wrong side of the square. You're going to do the next HDC. Make sure that you take the red yarn in front and weave it in your next stitch. This is our next stitch in which we have to do an HDC. We finish our half double crochet, or we'll tuck the red yarn a bit, and then we'll make the next half double crochet, making sure to tuck the yarn in. At this point, pull the yellow yarn to the lower side, and after these 2 half double crochets, we are going to do a color change and half double crochet. So the other yarn also we are going to pull in the front, because this is our back side. Taking the red yarn, make a half double crochet in the next stitch. Tug at the yellow yarn slightly. Now make HDCs till the end. Here I'd like to show you that since we started the stitch with half double crochet ending in a color change, but in the last we did a half double crochet, color change, and then half double crochet. So we've ended up with 3 V's on the top, though we have only 2 yellow stitches. So when we make these stitches and we come back and we'll make the next stitch on the returning row, it will be, the next stitch would be here, and if you would notice, it's not exactly aligned with the stitch below. It's slightly, it would be on its left, and this stitch would be slightly on the right. So in this pattern, what we are going to do is every row we are going to increase the stitches by 3 stitches, and that is why we would get an even heart shape. This is a normal way of color changing a color, but when we are changing it like this, it helps us to carry the yellow color to the left side of the heart. That is why we are changing the color in the half double crochet differently here and differently in this stitch. This is how we are going to continue for our heart rows throughout. So the right side of the heart would always start with a half double crochet ending in a color change, and on the left side we will have a complete half double crochet stitch, change the color, and a complete half double crochet stitch, and this is how we would get the heart shape. So I have finished this row. At the end of the row, please do count all your stitches and make sure you have got 23 stitches. 10 stitches of red, 2 stitches of yellow, and 11 stitches of red. After this, we'll chain 1 and turn, and we'll make 8 half double crochets. We have made these 8 half double crochets, and in the next stitch we are going to do a half double crochet ending with a color change. If you pay attention, our yellow color is dangling behind. Now this is the front side of the work and this is the back side of the work. So now we're going to do a half double crochet that ends in a color change. We'll take the yellow color and end the stitch with the yellow color. At this point, please tug and pull at this yellow thread a bit so that it's a bit loose here, and we can make the next stitch easily as well. So now, using the yellow, we are going to make the half double crochet in the next 5 stitches. Make sure to weave in the red yarn at the back of the stitch. Keep the red yarn like this at the back. Next stitch is in this red stitch. So we inserted a hook here. Make sure the red yarn is going over it. And yarn over and you pull it. And if you will see on the back, the red yarn is tucked within this stitch. Whenever we change a color like this, as soon as we finish one stitch, we should tug the previous color a bit to tighten it up. So when we tug this is the stitch that is tightening. Make sure that the red yarn is at the back of the stitches and getting weaved in. So this is our next stitch. 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you'll see a red thread, so it was weaved in at the back and it is available to us at this end. So we have both the yarns available to us here. But since we don't have any more work to do with yellow, we are going to drop yellow behind at this point of time. So the last stitch was a complete half double crochet. Now we are going to take the red color, and the next stitch HDC has been made like this. So this is the left side of the heart, so we are letting the yellow color continue. Tuck the yellow yarn so that this stitch ending is tightened, and then continue with HDCs till the end of the row. At the end of the 5th row, please count that your stitches are 23 stitches in this row, 9 of red, 5 of yellow and 9 of red. After this, chain 1 and turn. Make 6 half double crochets. In the next stitch, we have to do a half double crochet but ending with a color change. So we have taken the 3 loops of a half double crochet, and now we have to take this yellow yarn and finish the stitch with this. At this point, please pull this yarn a bit to make it a bit loose for the next stitches. Now pull the red yarn to the front at the top of these stitches, because this is our back side and this is where we want the red yarn to be weaved in. Now we are going to make 8 half double crochets in yellow. Please pay attention that this red stitch is the next stitch that we have to stitch in. Hold on to the red yarn and then so that it gets weaved in, and make your next stitch. Pull at the red yarn a bit to tighten it. Our next stitch is right here. It's kind of hiding behind this yellow, so please be careful not to miss it. If you are getting confused, you can see it from the other side. So it should be this. We have to take the red yarn, weave it in, and 8 half double crochets. This time we are facing the wrong side, so we are weaving the red yarn towards us. So we've made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stitches we have to make. Now we have to change our color. Pull the yellow and half double crochet till the end of the row. So this is our front side and this is our back side. At the end of row 6 we should have 23 stitches, 7 stitches of red, 8 stitches of yellow and 8 stitches of red. Chain 1 and turn and make 5 half double crochets. The next stitch is a half double crochet ending in a color change. So we make 3 loops for half double crochet. We drop the red yarn and we pick up the yellow yarn. Loosen up the yellow yarn and make the next stitch. Now here I missed the red yarn. Open your last stitch. Take the red yarn and keep it horizontally. Keep your finger here holding the yarn. So this middle finger of mine is holding the red yarn. Weave the red yarn behind this stitch. When you pull this thread, see this stitch was very loose. Now we are going to keep this red yarn at the back and keep making stitches. We are going to make 11 half double crochets. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So now we have to change colors. We're going to leave yellow behind and hold on to the red color and make a stitch. Pull out the yellow thread. Now with the red yarn, make half double crochets till the end of the row. So this is our 7th row, and we have got 6 plus 11 plus 6. We'll chain 1 and turn the row, and we'll make 3 half double crochets. In the next stitch, we are going to do a half double crochet with a color change. We'll keep the red yarn towards ourselves because this is our back side. We'll take the yellow yarn and finish the next stitch. We'll loosen up the yarn a bit. The next stitch is red on the top. Make your next HDC in it. The next stitch is right here. Keep holding onto the red yarn to the front of the work. At this point, you are going to make 14 half double crochets with the yellow yarn. So let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we've got 14 half double crochets in yellow. We're going to do a color change. We'll drop the yellow yarn towards us, take the red yarn and make the next half double crochet. Pull the yellow yarn a bit to tighten the stitch. Now with the red yarn, make half double crochets till the end of the row. So at the end of this row, which is the 8th row, we have 4 red, 14 yellow and 5 red. Chain 1 and turn your row. Now make 3 half double crochets. The next stitch is half double crochet but ending in a color change. So we are going to drop the red yarn at the back and pick up the yellow yarn. Pull out the red yarn to tighten this stitch. Hold the red yarn at the back of the stitch and make your next half double crochet. Keep holding the yarn at the back and make 15 half double crochets. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. But I just remembered that this is the max width of our heart, so we have to stop here and do a color change before for this last stitch. Then in this last stitch we are going to do a half double crochet with a color change, and we drop the yellow and we pick the red and we do a color change. And next we'll pull at the yellow yarn a bit, make the rest of the stitches with red. So at the end of this row we have got 23 stitches. 4 red, 15 yellow and 4 red. This is the front side. This is our back side. It's also looking pretty neat. Now we'll do a chain 1 and turn. And 3 half double crochets. The fourth stitch is a half double crochet with a color change. So we drop the red color in front and we pick up the yellow color to end the stitch. Adjust this yellow a bit so that it's not too tight. Pull the red yarn in front. And now we're going to do 6 half double crochets in yellow. Tug the red a bit to pull this stitch. While weaving and hiding the red thread towards us, we are going to make 6 half double crochets. So this is 6 half double crochets. Now our next stitch is a half double crochet with a color change. So we take the 3 loops, take the red color and end the half double crochet in a color change. Now pull the yellow thread towards you to weave it in and make the next half double crochet with red. There's only one half double crochet in red. We pick up yellow again and we're going to weave the red and make 6 half double crochets. Tighten the red and make 6 half double crochets of yellow. So we have 1 2 3 4 5 6. The next stitch is a half double crochet with a color change. Because our heart shape has gone to its max width, we don't want the yellow color moving outwards towards the left side. And now we are going to finish it with half double crochets till the end of the row. So at the end of this row we have got 23 stitches, 4 of red, 7 of yellow, 1 of red, 7 of yellow and 4 of red. At this point, if you'll see, our yarn is pretty entangled. If it's bothering you, you can detangle them or you can continue. So to detangle them, you can pick either of the balls and go around the other yarn. Now at the end of the row, what we are going to do is chain 1 and turn. And 3 half double crochets. Oops, I kept this yarn on this side, which is my right side, and this is my wrong side, so I'll have to open it. So I'll have to frog it till this stitch. So we came till here, brought the yellow to this side, and now I'm going to make the half double crochets. So after correcting the yellow yarn, and I come back to the same stage. So we have made 3 half double crochets, and the next stitch is a half double crochet with a color change. So we've got 3 loops of red. I'm going to take the yellow yarn and take it through, loosen it a bit, take the red yarn at the back and weave it within your stitch. Make a half double crochet, pull the red yarn to tighten this stitch, weave it at the back and make 5 HDCs. So we've got 1 2 5 half double crochet and we are weaving our red yarn in. The next stitch is a half double crochet with a color change. So we'll drop yellow and pick up the red, finish the stitch with the red. Weave the yellow behind and do a half double crochet with the red. Next stitch is a half double crochet with the red. Tighten the yellow thread, pull the yellow to tighten the stitch. Keeping the yellow behind, make a half double crochet in the next stitch. Make sure to weave the yellow. Now we'll drop the red and we'll pick up the yellow, and the next stitch will be with the yellow. Weave your red in at the back. Pull the red yarn to tighten the last stitch. Now weave it in at the back and make 5 half double crochets. In the 6th stitch we are doing a half double crochet ending in a color change. In this stitch we did a half double crochet ending in a color change. We'll leave the yellow behind and we'll make a half double crochet in the next stitch. And finish the row with half double crochets in red. Now this is our 11th row. We have finished our 11th row, and if you can see, our heart pattern is complete. And in this row we had 4 reds, 6 yellows, 2 reds, 6 yellows and 5 reds. So our yellow work is finished, and if we want we can cut it off. So after leaving a little thread, let's cut the yellow yarn. So now we have to make the top 4 rows. The top 4 rows are just like the bottom rows. There were 3 rows, but we have 4 rows here, and these are 4 rows of 23 half double crochets each. So if you do that, you can finish your square. So in this row, I'm just showing you that every stitch is a stitch in red half double crochet. Please pay attention that in this last row you have got 3 tops of the red. Don't get confused. 2 stitches, but there are 3 tops of red. And in these top portions is where you make your stitch. So you're going to be making a stitch in each of these top portions. And if you will miss even one of them, then you will end up with less stitches. So make sure you stitch in each and every of these stitches. So I finished this square. Cut this yarn off and you can have a closer look. This is our back side and this is our front side. And if I measure it, it's about 4 1/4. So this is a good size for making the jacket. This is the blue square that I had made earlier. I hope you found this tutorial useful. If you have any questions, any doubts, you can write to me in comments. You can even write to me on Instagram. I have created a special Facebook page just for this purpose, to help people who have some queries, to want to share their pictures and discuss about it. Any questions you have, I'm more than willing to help you. You can make sling bags, purses, blankets, cushion covers, and maybe a sling bag with 2 squares on either side, or maybe a small sling bag like this, having a different colors. It took me 6 iterations to come to this design. So if you see, this square is just made with half double crochets, so it should not be so complicated. But there are certain advanced level skills, like for color changing, and we are using 2 methods for changing colors, and we are weaving the yarn at the back as well. The red yarn is woven at the back when we are making the heart. This place we are weaving the yellow yarn. So if you see the dark colors, the light color will not show, but in light colors the dark colors show a bit. But it doesn't matter because this is our front side. If you are trying to learn this pattern for making the jacket, then I would advise that make at least 2 to 3 such sample test squares to get comfortable with the pattern. And do not use those squares in your jacket. Those should be just for your test squares. And I hope to see many people wearing these jackets in the future. Many pictures on all social media handles. It will be lovely if everybody could join this craze of wearing a heart jacket. And you can change the colors also if you want. And you can enjoy this craft. I hope you find it useful.